Beneath the crown of mongrel trees, I pulled that bothersome thread, got down on my knees, grabbed my pen, and bowed my head. Tried to summon all that my heart finds true and send it in my letter to you. Bruce Springsteen released a new album in October 2020 with the title song Letter to You and those lyrics that were too hard to listen to. That was when we were coming to understand the depth of Mark's diagnosis and hoping against hope that what we were reading on the internet was wrong about what the next year had in store. We asked people to send cards and letters to Mark. What should I have said in my letter to Mark? Should I reminisce? We met when we were 18 and freshmen in the dorms. It was the first time living away from home and we were all searching. In those 4 years in DC, we learned what it meant to build friendships and we started to learn what the world had to offer. For me, it was an introduction to debating, politics, and engaging in social activism. For Mark, it was a continuation of conversations that have been happening at his dinner table since he was a baby. I delivered newspapers to the dorms each morning, and Mark had the Washington Post and the New York Times delivered to his dorm room every day. What 19-year-old reads the New York Times and the Washington Post every day and reads all the sections? Mark got a peace sign tattooed on his foot. It got kind of shriveled and faded over the years, and he told me he would show it to students as a warning of what happens to tattoos over time. He really didn't like tattoos. Mark and I got those peace tattoos together, and I can attest they do look terrible at age 54. He'd say it's why you should never get a tattoo. I say it's proof of a lifelong friendship. But we would both say we should have waited until we could afford a better tattoo artist. After college, a few of us found our way to Portland and we continued to grow up. In my letter to Mark, should I have said thank you for always being there? Mark drove me to the hospital when it was time for my first daughter to be born. I remember having to wake him up to ask for a ride. I was scared and nervous, but Mark was really scared and really nervous. We all supported each other as life threw us various curveballs. Mark had a bad chapter with a really bad cat. I think his dating life was sidelined for a bit because he had a cat who would attack anyone who entered his apartment. Thank goodness Mark got a new cat. Maybe in a letter to Mark, I should have said congratulations. Congratulations for meeting and marrying Brita. Brita, it seems like just yesterday we were toasting you at your wedding and talking about how Mark was so lucky for the sparkle you brought to his life. I've learned over this past year that you brought so much more than sparkle. You were the conduit to his emotions that Mark so desperately needed. Mark relied on you and needed you. You did everything for Mark this past year when he wouldn't let anybody else. Thank you. I never did write a letter to Mark last fall. I thought we had more time. We texted and Zoomed a little, and Mark was on fire during last year's election. He had very strong opinions. I didn't write Mark a letter. I thought we would talk more once he felt better after chemo, and that there would still be time for more drinks at the Virginia Cafe, Timbers games, or another road trip with friends. After 37 years of friendship, I know Mark was an adamant atheist and evolutionist, and I know he would shake his head with mild disdain when I say, I think he's still here, but I kind of think he's still here. So I'll end with another lyric. Well, maybe you'll be out there on that road somewhere, in some bus or train traveling along, in some motel room, and there'll be a radio playing, and you'll hear me sing this song. Well, if you do, you'll know I'm thinking of you, and all the miles in between, and I'm just calling one last time, not to change your mind, but just to say, I miss you. Good luck. Goodbye, dear friend.